What's up, family? Hey, it's your boy Pbo here. Book club time. This is part 3. This one's called DeFi and the Future of Finance. Really a solid read. The font is small and it's just direct and to the point, man. Look, it's just one of the first books I read about decentralized finance, or DeFi, as they call it. And I was learning more about this, oh gosh, over the past 3-4 years. You know, Bitcoin was gaining traction, and Ethereum and some of those contracts were coming out. And I kept wondering, you know what, there's all these smart people, all these Ivy League people, and they're all going into this space, and people are calling it a fraud, or, you know, crypto won't last and all this. Maybe there's more to it. So I started learning. And in this book, it talks about some of the problems that the DeFi solves, right? Like centralized control. If you think about centralization, it's not a bad thing. It can lead to some efficiency gains, but it actually leads to a broadening wealth gap and monopolies, you know, think about big tech or big pharma, you know, things like that. There's also limited access to the traditional banking system right now. So if you think about, you know, remote countries that don't have access to banks, they're the unbanked. So they're kind of at a disadvantage. The book talks about synthetics in stocks, which is a really cool use case too, but I won't get off topic there. There's inefficiency. There's so many middlemen in hands that money has to go through, right? If you want to send an international wire, you have to go through the SWIFT banking system. If you want to do it domestically, go down to your bank and try that if you haven't done it before. It is a process. It takes time and it takes a lot of patience. I'll say that. It does work if you get it in before the wire cut off, but lack of interoperability. So with all these decentralized apps and with tech advancing much more in the Web3 space, DeFi is starting to catch up to traditional finance, or even getting ahead in the software space. And then opacity. You know, it's just not the rules and the bureaucracy that can come along with traditional finance can slow it down, right? So what are Dapps? You ever heard of decentralized apps? I'm reading from the book here, just a couple spots. Decentralized apps, instead of having all those middlemen, what DeFi does is actually eliminate that. So it's more of a peer-to-peer network. And it says, as mentioned earlier, dApps are a critical DeFi ingredient. dApps are like traditional software applications, except they live on a decentralized smart contract platform. The primary benefit of these applications is their permissionless, that's a long one, and censorship resistance. Anyone can use them, and no single body controls them. A separate but related concept is a decentralized autonomous organization. So, or DAOs, you may have heard of DAOs. That's just the last part I'll share about the book. And it talks about stablecoins. It's a really good book about like automated market makers and how it's very similar to the stock exchange now. You have people on the floor, but a lot of that trading is done electronically, you know, with fintech and with apps, centralized apps. But what DAOs provide, and I've been involved with a couple the last few years, and they're very interesting. They don't work like a traditional company. But here's what it says. In a decentralized autonomous organization, or a DAO, the rules of operation are encoded in smart contracts that determine who can execute what behavior or upgrade. It is common for a DAO to have some kind of governance token, which gives an owner some percentage of the vote on future outcomes. We will explore governance in much more detail later. So that's what we're talking about there. But anyway, it's I don't want to get too long-winded. There's so much meat. Yield farming, government risks, synthetics like I talked about earlier, and a lot of cool charts. Like, look, he breaks down very detailed flows and processes there. So if you want to get started in DeFi and learn about it, here it is, DeFi and the Future of Finance, and that's how we end things. So, Pbo! Thanks, guys. Hey, give me some feedback and subscribe and follow the YouTube channel if you want to hear more. Thanks.